Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, August 9th, around 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. At least 6 killed, dozens injured in the worst natural disaster in decades in Hawaii. This is wildfires burning many areas in Maui. Keep calm. It's boom time. Much of historic Lahaina town believed destroyed as huge wildfire sends people fleeing into the water. These were the scenes overnight.
Lahaina runs along the coastline, north to south. But the area you see glowing there, that is really the heart of Lahaina town. That's where the big banyan tree is. That's where the library is. That's where all the shops are along Front Street there, right along the ocean, all the art galleries and the cool tourist spots, all right there, just makai of the highway and the bypass. And the wind, of course.
So it doesn't seem to be a very good scene. At least 6 killed in wildfires, devastated parts of the Hawaiian island of Maui and Lahaina town. Here we have pictures from downtown. Just a very sad state over in Hawaii. We do have live updates. Deadly wildfires are burning across Maui, and they prompted evacuations. Just an hour ago, the update, here's how you can help Hawaii wildfire victims. You can just click here, support the relief efforts. Hot and dry winds set the conditions for these wildfires, and a tropical storm, actually a Hurricane Dora, to the south drove those winds to this destructive end. Hawaiian officials are monitoring for potential riots, according to the lieutenant governor, and it looked like an area that had been bombed in the war. Helicopter pilot described scenes on Maui. Now let's take a look at more footage from Fox Weather.
In Hawaii, much of the historic town of Lahaina is believed to be gone. Dozens of homes and businesses, they've been destroyed. The Coast Guard used a helicopter and a boat to rescue people who literally jumped into the ocean to escape from the flames and smoke. The wildfires are being called the worst natural disaster in the state in 30 years. That was back in 1993 when Hurricane Aniki hit. Firefighters, they're up against a multitude of weather challenges, erratic winds, some gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour. We have low humidity, challenging terrain. We have fire weather warnings which remain in effect. And notice where they're at. It's on the western side of the Hawaiian Islands. And let's talk about this, Jane and Craig, because the winds are an important component. I mean, we look at the currents, and we'll get to the setup in just a little bit. But when we look at what's been evolving in this...
Well, 60-mile-per-hour winds, geez, that's what we have here, and it hasn't rained in 13 weeks. So the U.S. is under threat as well for severe wildfires and dangerous conditions, just like Hawaii. Unusually active severe weather has put now 100 million at risk over the next few days. And the threat of severe weather continues Wednesday evening for most of Arkansas, especially the northern part of the state. So heads up as tornado watches are issued as severe storms target the central U.S. with overnight threats into Thursday. There you can see the tornado watch moving through Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Did Colorado just record its largest hailstone? I think so. Now, on August 14th, 2019, we reported on a massive hailstone that fell north of Bethune, and it was, in fact, record-breaking. The Colorado State climatologist measured the hailstone using calipers, which can measure to 1/100 of an inch. According to the National Weather Service back then in August 2019, check out the video. The hailstone measured 4.83 inches in diameter at its widest point, and it weighed 8.5 ounces, breaking the all-time record for Colorado. The bad news is that the hailstones are getting bigger. In fact, one storm chaser near Adalia along US 36 the other day had a hailstone measuring 4 to 5 inches, very close to the record. And in fact, one hailstone measuring, it said 5.2 inches earlier today, but it in fact says 5 now. So that's interesting. They've changed the data from 5.2 to 5. So I thought it was broke, but this is going to be close. Yeah, there it is. Hail measured at 5.25 inches fell on the Highway 36. There it is. So that is some big hail and a much bigger increase from the record back in 2019, as predicted. Here's the full forecast. Significant severe storms in the Mid-South, high winds and critical fire weather in Hawaii driving those fires. Severe thunderstorm in the Mid-South to the Ohio Valley may produce tornadoes, some strong damaging winds, large hail, and heavy to excessive rain. In Hawaii, the combination of powerful major hurricane Dora well to the south and strong high pressure to the north is producing strong dry winds and critical fire threats across the island, especially the western portion. So heads up in those regions. Now, on the flip side, historically cold Italy and the U.S. ski industry reports a record-breaking 65.4 million skiers last season. Let's take a look at Italy boiled in snow. This is yesterday. And again, this is the Northern Hemisphere. This is the middle of summer in Italy. Yeah, they're boiling up there. And what have all of these climate protocols done? They've been going on now for 40 years. CO2 keeps rising, and they're supposed to be stopping the rise of CO2. Do you see anything happening here? Yeah. That's because you can't stop a trace gas that's 0.04% of the atmosphere, where 98% is controlled by the ocean. Has nothing to do with you, taxes, or the Copenhagen Accord. All nonsense and a waste of billions of dollars, thousands of jet flights, and trillions of tons of CO2. It's an absolute climate scam, period. Seismic update. Some moderate quakes of note today. We've got a 5.3 in the Philippines, 5.6 in Guam, and a 5.8 in Mexico. No other quakes of note. Quite sparse across the world. Now, 3 possibly active underwater volcanoes were just discovered off Sicily. And we know, and we're waiting for potential supervolcano to explode, potentially in that region. Researchers hail very important discovery that sheds light on unexplored Italian seabed. And they uncovered, well, 3 possibly active underwater volcanoes. All the links will be below. Worldwide Volcano News Update. Not much going on. Pretty normal activity worldwide. Stromboli, Santa Rita, Fuego, Merapi, Semaru. Stromboli, a sudden above average eruption took place from the volcano's vent in the north of the crater. And Sabancaya to 22,000 feet. Fuego to 17,000. Ubinus to 22,000 feet today. Mayon, continuing activity. Fuego to 17. Nevado de Ruiz to 19. Merapi to 10,000 today. Sabancaya to 23. And Requiena's volcano ended just there the morning of August 6th. And we do have some thermals coming from Stromboli here with small lava flows followed by stronger than usual explosion yesterday, which we just covered. Space weather news update. Now, the geomagnetic storm we were waiting for was a fizzle. Absolutely nothing but a blip. And there it is right there, actually. Holy macaroni. Just very low-level activity. College Station picking up KP5 for 3 hours, but not a very large storm, as we did predict. So everything has gone quiet. Very few sunspots on the disk. Active region 3394 doing nothing because it is facing Earth. And solar flare goes X-ray flux has gone all the way down to the B range during solar max in a grand solar minimum. Massive solar explosion felt on Earth, the Moon, and Mars simultaneously for the first time ever. Now, this was from a major solar flare happening this solar cycle. Instruments in different parts of the solar system all captured radiation from the same coronal mass ejection for the first time ever. On October 28th, 2021, a huge burst of plasma and magnetized particles erupted from the sun. The massive solar outburst washed over Earth, the Moon, and Mars, bathing them in radiation. And for the first time ever, instruments on all 3 bodies measured the same event almost simultaneously. Now, it's not a record solar event in any form, but it is a record in the fact that it was so all-encompassing. Do you see how it's 360 degrees radiating there? And on the plane of the ecliptic, that all of these instruments were able to pick it up. Just a fantastic coincidence as more and more solar activity is coming into play. And that's bad news because this is a warning from history. The Carrington event was not unique, and we are long overdue for another major X-flare Earth-facing. Check out the article by Dr. Tony Phillips that came out in August, my birthday, 2020, back when I was just 49. Because another Carrington-like event or bigger is coming anytime soon. And as the magnetosphere wanes and the grand solar minimum deepens, we've seen the increase in hail. We just reported on records being broken in Colorado in 2019 and now again this year. And hail-prone areas like this may require solar modules with 4 millimeter thick front glass, actually plexiglass. New research from India claims solar modules with 3.2 millimeter thick front glass may not be strong enough to withstand storms producing big hail. So they've upped that to 4 millimeters. And this should avoid significant damage. So if you're planning for prepping in the long term in a grid down scenario, you better get the protection you need. And check it out. This is an actual snowflake. Hexagonal symmetry. And as a mineralogist, well, a minor in mineralogy in my geologic career, I love crystal lattices. And water, frozen water for the most part, is one of the most fascinating. Many people say there are no two snowflakes alike. And watching the Democrats run around with their heads cut off, I agree. Did you know China's central bank has been gobbling up gold for years? Yeah, since the pandemic hit. And their gold purchases of 23 tons in July lifted their year-to-date purchases to 126 tons. Its gold reserve now is 2,136 tons. And if you do the math, that is $150 billion in gold. That's not good news for us. And that's a boom to knowledge. We don't even know where our gold is. Fort Knox is empty, and trillions of dollars are missing from the Treasury. I hope you got something out of the video. Please share this as we are shadow banned, and we need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do and watch all of our productions commercial-free in one place. And be safe. We love you. And that is a boom.